Let's get into it. All right. I'm not playing around. We're going to get into the show today. Let's do it. Super Chat Thursdays, likes, buttons up. Let's get into it here. First order of business before I get to the updates. I want to have a conversation about someone who hit the news yesterday. I'm mad I get you to do it yesterday. I'm supposed to live stream, but hey, circumstances happen, and now we're here today. Jada Pinkett-Smith, guys. She is back in the news again. She is back in the news. And it's for me personally, y'all can take it how you want to take it here, but every time that I see Jada shows up in my feed and my timelines, it's never anything good. It's never anything good, guys. What's going on, David Scott? What's going on, Jermaine? Good to see y'all. Come on now. Every time, guys, can anybody in the chat while I'm talking here, can you name me anything positive that Jada has done in the last like 5 or 10 years? Like you see the news break, and they say, Jada Pinkett-Smith, what's the first thing that you think of? Before you even read the article, you see the headline and you go in your news feed. Do you think positive or do you think negative? Who man's like, still got Tupac in her mind. Facts. Writing love letters to Tupac, a dead man's been dead since 1996. Tupac has been gone since my very first damn job. I'm telling you, my very first job that I had that Uncle Sam could tax me. I was working my very first weekend on a Saturday night when Pac got shot. I'm 43 years old now. I was that job at 16 years old, guys. That was, man, she's still writing love letters about a dead man. Guys, here's another thing I want to add too. Do you guys remember? Look at everybody saying negative, nothing. Look at Tom says nothing. Jilly says nothing. Negative. Eric says negative. Bill says negative. Right. Guys, do you remember when their daughter Willow Smith was 8 years old and she penned this letter wishing that Tupac was her daddy and was not dead over Will Smith? Now, when I saw this article that we're going to talk about her in a second here now. When I started thinking about this yesterday when this thing came up here, and I had to think to myself, you know what though? Outside of the times that we've seen Jada talk about Pac, in the public here and in the press, do you know how often that she would have to talk about Tupac? That her own daughter wished that was her daddy and wished that was her daddy over Will Smith and that wished that he was still alive? For an 8-year-old, guys. So can you imagine how much those talks are actually going on in their own dwellings? When little Will's like, I wish Pac was my daddy. Right? Just toxic, right? What about the time when Will went out of his way to throw, what was it, her 50th or 40th birthday party? It was a major milestone party. And she crapped on Will. He went and invited friends, plans out for a whole year, cake celebrations, gifts, the whole nine. He did everything that Will could do. And what did she do? Curse his ass out. All upset because she had a birthday. Clinton says, I remember. Yeah, exactly. So, and then we look at, of course, the cheating scandal. We already know about that, red table talking about some, I had an entanglement, and then, of course, we look at her red table talk just got canceled. People talking about it's going to get picked up. When we heard news about her show, canceled. That was bad. Every time we hear about her, when Aisha Curry, we don't support Aisha Curry, but what she said recently, hey, it was a bad experience on that show. They edited what I said here. Every time someone says something about Jada, it's nothing positive here. The last year, the Oscar slap, all that was because of Jada. So what are we talking about today, guys? We're talking about how Jaden Smith released to Essence Magazine, came out on the feed yesterday, that their mom, Jada Pinkett-Smith, introduced the family to psychedelics and hallucinogens. Seriously? Their mom introduced the family to psychedelics. I got some thoughts on that, guys, because Jaden's only, 24 years old? Guys, let's not take my words for it. Let's go ahead and pull the Essence article up, guys. Let's pull that up because I think that we should go over this together for a few moments here. It's not a long article, but we can just add another item to a laundry list of items about Jada Pinkett not only being a bad wife, she's just a bad person. Let me bring this up here, guys. Bear with me for 1 second here as I pull the article up here. Let's do it here, guys. Let's get into it. Let's kick it. Whoops. Here we go. Here's the article from Essence. Check it out. Whoops. Let me adjust my screen here. No, I don't want to do it like that. Let's do it like this here so y'all can see it. There we go. There we go. Let's rock now, guys. Let's rock. Jaden Smith says Jada introduced their family to psychedelics. Smith says that he was the first in their brood to use hallucinogens. He believes his own use of them has helped me be more empathetic towards his loved ones. Interesting. This is from Essence, guys. So you're gonna see why I decided to pull this article up here. And I think some of y'all may have a certain idea where I'm gonna go with this here. This came from June 28th here. So check it out. While some who choose to partake in psychedelics often find their way to the substances of their own or through friends, others are introduced to it with the help from individuals most close to them. The latter was the case for Jaden Smith. While attending the psychedelic science conference in Denver recently, the 24-year-old revealed that his mom, Jada Pinkett-Smith, 51, was the one to get him and his family into psychedelics as they followed her lead in the uses of hallucinogens. I think it was my mom, actually, that was really the first one to make that step for the family, he said. It was just her for a really, really long time. And then eventually, it just trickled in everyone. It evolved, and everybody found it in their own ways. The primary way the artist and model says psychedelics has helped them is by making him more empathetic, especially towards his brother and sister, Trey and Willow, 22. Hey, guys. Jaden said that their mom, for a long, long time, had been trying to get to do psychedelics, and then she led the way. So what is my issue here with this right now as we get started here, guys? Jaden's only 24 years old. Willow's 22 years old. So when somebody says, and I'm taking their words, a long, long time by herself before anybody follows suit, does that mean that Jada Pinkett-Smith was trying to get her kids to do hallucinogens when they were at least teenagers in high school? Guys, 24 and 22 years old. And he said from his own words, she was doing it for a long, long time. I don't know about y'all, but at 24 and 22 years old, a long time to me says at least, over 10 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, at least that. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here. Maybe I'm adding too much here. But my thing is, why is a mother who has young kids trying to introduce your kids to drugs and psychedelics? Reason why I'm saying this here, because I have a strong, profound feeling when it comes to raising kids, when it comes to drugs and recreational use. My thing is, once you become 18 or 21 years old, whatever the laws are, I can't tell my daughter what to do at that point there. Unless you live in my house. She still live in my house. You got to abide by my rules here, right? But when you come 21 years old, I get it. You can do recreational items as long as it's legal in that state and that you're partaking in proper ways. Like, for instance, at Illinois, we're legal in marijuana since the pandemic happened. You can drink at 21 years old. If you're using recreational things as an adult legally, I don't have no problem with it. My issue is, if you have young kids, adolescents, teenagers, they should not be doing any kind of drugs unless it's prescribed by a doctor because they have a health ailment. So I'm looking at the fact that Jada, on top of being a horrible human being, honestly, I say that, the way she just, Will Smith kind of acts for it because he refuses to leave. He wants to stay in these situations here. But my thing is, as a mother, as a father, guys, as parents, we want to do what's best for our kids here. And so if we know that at the young years, their bodies are developing, you're growing, your brain is going through so many things here that needs to develop properly. And the last thing that we need to do is mess with the process of our kids growing up to become young adults, and by introducing drugs that at times could be, depending on their age and the way their molecular structure is built up, that could make them, addicted to it. I'm not saying people get addicted to marijuana. I'm not trying to go that far. People get addicted to marijuana hallucinogens. I'm saying that at a young age, when there's developments, your kids are not going to grow it to where they're supposed to be. There's going to be some sort of stunted growth. When you're adults, all bets are off. But hold on, let me get the rest of this article, guys. Let's continue reading here. Let's see here. He said here, siblings can argue so much and fight so much. And Lord knows, me and my siblings have done so much of that in the past, he said. But the level of love and empathy that I feel for them is inside of the psychedelic experiences and outside the experiences have been something that's profound and beautiful. My thing is, also, Jaden, how bad is your relationships with your siblings that you need to do psychedelic drugs to have a better relationship with them? Coming from the mouth of a 24-year-old. This is coming from the mouth of a 24-year-old. Hey, they got ads in this damn article here. Let me scroll down here. Let me see what else they got here. Is that it there for this article? So, okay. He says psychedelic drugs are still illegal in the majority of states, with only Colorado and Oregon legalizing them. And Colorado specifically, is that called psilocybin, DMT, obagan, and mescaline are now legal at the state level, but still illegal at the federal level. Jaden continued to explain how using psychedelics, has helped strengthen his relationship with his loved ones. Guys, what's going on, T Lee? T Lee in the building. Guys, this is not coming from like I'm a conservative standpoint that, this is just, I just think that personally, when we're raising our kids, we want our kids to have the best possibilities, right? And we want them to grow to be the best they can be. My thing is, why was she being the influence under psychedelics when their kids are underage? And then to the point where that just wanted them to try it, wanted them to do it. And then he said eventually everybody fell in line, which means that Willow does it, Will does it, and then he does it. So my thing is, as a parent, I do not co-sign this. I do not co-sign this. I think that if you have kids, you need to do the best possible to keep them away from items like this here. And then when they get grown and they get older, they leave the nest and they're going to do what you're going to do here. That's all we can explain. That's only we can hope for, that we raise our kids the best way possible. But one thing I'm not going to do is introduce them to psychedelics or certain types of drugs here that is not built for them at this time and place here right now. There's a reason why our body's growing and the reason why we go through our adolescence and the things we got to process to let our brains develop to the proper standpoints here. So when we see someone like this here, and he openly said for a long time here, I said, man, that's a goddamn shame. She over here trying to get her kids to do something. And and here's the thing too, they resisted it. They resisted. He said it was a long time and then finally they caved in. So I just wanted to showcase here that Will is at the forefront of this here too. It makes it worse. He refuses to be a man, stand up and say enough is enough. See, guys, you see what happens when you choose the wrong woman and you date the wrong woman, you have kids with the wrong woman, you marry the wrong woman, she will turn your life into a living hell. I can see y'all supers in a second. She will turn your life into a living hell. It's bad enough that they have this arranged marriage where she goes ahead and cheats on them and entangles with young guys out here in the streets and can't even keep it quiet and discreet. Right? Stuff just coming all out. And then to make her show pop off, you go ahead and put them on Front Street on your own damn show so you can get ratings and views. Right? You over here mad at your 40th birthday party because you're turning 40. You over here introducing drugs to your kids who didn't want to check for the time until they finally cave in. You over here talking about a dead man when you married to a good man who pocket's not even here for to even sustain for. Will, remember what you say about Will Smith? And how much of a punk he can be at times. We see that with this woman here, but he seems like a good man. He seems like he's a good father to a degree. He seems like that he has good head and shoulders, and he is respected by his peers and has become one of the A-list actors of our time here. And you see how she is still not happy with it. She is happy with turning their house into a bunch of burning flames. It's crazy. What's going on, Vince? Salute to you, man. Clifton's like, I don't mess with mind altering drugs. I like being in control. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, after 21 years old, if you go ahead and do something, you're doing it responsibly, or, there's somebody there that is able to monitor you doing these psychedelics, that's one thing. I will not fault Jaden right now for doing it. He's a grown man. He knows the stakes, as well as Will and everybody else. My issue is we do not need people, let alone younger women, looking up to Jada, thinking that this is the role model. Remember, for so many years, we wanted Will and Jada goals. We seen that was a big-ass, bold-faced lie, isn't it? You wanted Jada and Will goals. Do you really want these kind of goals where you woman disrespects you, talks about another man, goes ahead and mess around with young men, and over here doing everything else that she wants to and feel like she is the reason why this household is successful, and then she is jealous of Will's success at the same time too as well? Guys, this is the situation, like I'm going to say one more time. You choose the wrong woman, she will ruin your life. And then if you have kids, she will ruin their lives as well. So I don't know how anybody's going to spin this here. Me as a parent, I say this is wrong. The fact that this happened, and he said that she was showcasing this to their kids at a young age here. You see, we can see how influence can be positive or negative to our kids coming up here. And Jada is showcasing that she is nothing more than a negative influence in this game here. So guys, anytime that we hear anything from Jada Pinkett here, you know what I think first thing I see here? I'm like, oh Lord, what does she do now? What's the next bad news here? Because every time something comes up, I say, damn it, again. Shout out to my man here, Eric Jordan, with the $2 holla. Turn the chat here blue, saying Jada's a terrible parent and a piece of you know what. Hey, Eric, first thing first, brother. Salute. Thank you for the holla. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Drop that super in the building here, guys. I appreciate you, man. Excuse me. All right, guys. I have to get that off my chest, right? I saw that.